So I always say that my late sister's son died due to years of stress and unhappiness, and cancer was just her manifested symptom. So I never say she died of cancer, because when she got diagnosed with cancer, at the time, there was a part of me, that infinite part of me, told me that her body could no longer sustain the years of mental and emotional stress. And so during the height of my own health condition, which is when I had felt arthritis throughout my body, and I had eczema and rash that would never go away throughout my body, I basically went to see a Western doctor, not to get healing from the Western doctor, but to get information. I wanted to get the x-rays and see what was going on in my body. And the doctor at the time prescribed a pill for me, anti-inflammatory pill. He says, look, you've got inflammation, you've got arthritis in these areas, and he prescribed an anti-inflammatory drug for me. And so I knew that the drug would never really heal me. It would just alleviate the symptom. So I went home and I threw out the prescription, and I actually diagnosed myself, and I decided that I was going to go on my own independent healing path, that I wasn't going to rely on the Western doctors because they would never really be able to heal me. So I had the confidence to go on my own healing path because I had the knowledge that my body is this energy consciousness. It's a non-physical energy with a consciousness, with an intelligent awareness that knows how to heal and operate my body at the highest level. I know that. And that I needed to just give my body the right environment to be able to do that. Because, think about it. Our body is so infinitely intelligent. I mean, to run this entire body, that takes infinite intelligence, right? Because right now, we don't consciously tell our bodies what to do. The body is just running automatically, unconsciously. We don't tell our heart what to do. We don't tell our nervous system what to do. We don't tell our lungs what to do. We don't tell our kidneys what to do. The body just infinitely knows how to run. Every cell in the body is communicating messages back and forth, back and forth. So our body has the intelligent ability to heal and to operate at the optimal level. And so I realized the path to healing was to give my body the right environment to heal and to get out of my body's way to allow it to do what it infinitely knows how to do. So there's a study in biology called epigenetics, and what epigenetics basically says is that the fate of our health is really in the environment in which our body lives, as opposed to our DNA or genes. And so the leading researcher of this epigenetics, who's a biologist, is Dr. Bruce Lipton. And Dr. Lipton did an experiment many years ago where he took stem cells, and these 3 stem cells have the identical genes, and he placed it on 3 petri dishes. And he gave different environment to the genes. These are identical DNA genes, but gave different environment to each genes. And what the results of this experiment showed was that each of the stem cells were destined to become a different form. So, for example, stem cell A would be destined to turn into a tissue. Stem cell B would be destined to turn into, let's say, a bone. Stem cell C would be destined to become another form. So from this experiment, Dr. Bruce Lipton concluded that it was the environment that determined the destiny of the stem cells, not the DNA or gene because the stem cells were identical in DNA. And so the most important factor in our health is really the environment in which we give. It's not really the DNA or gene, because we all have genes in our body that could be activated to become a cancer cell. So if we have, let's say, a history of breast cancer in our family, like our mother and our grandmother has the breast cancer DNA gene, and there are women who have preemptive surgery, like a mastectomy, to prevent the cancer from arising. Well, I would say if it makes you feel good mentally and emotionally to have that preemptive surgery, then do it. If you feel so fearful that you're going to also get that cancer because you have the gene that your mother and grandmother have, then get the surgery. But my first suggestion would be to give your body the right environment to be able to not have that gene activated, to give it that healthy environment for your body to thrive in peace and serenity. And so the two most important environmental factors in having that wellness in our body are really mental and emotional wellness and diet. So when we have an unhealthy body, we have mental and emotional stress. And so I always say my late sister's son died due to years of stress and unhappiness, because after many years, her body could not sustain that stress. Because every thought that you have in your mind sends a biochemical signal to your body. Every single thought that you have. So if you have thought of fear, anger, hatred, worry, or concern, you're sending this cortisol hormone into your body, and that creates disease. You're sending like that fight or flight cortisol into your body, and that really leads to disease. Also, if you have an inappropriate diet for your body, for example, the Dalai Lama, he tried to become a vegetarian as a Buddhist practitioner. He's a Buddhist and he wanted to be a vegetarian, but he got so sick, and so he had to incorporate meat into his diet. So you have to have the appropriate diet for your body to be able to give your body the environment in which it can thrive. And so the healthy environment obviously would to have that mental and emotional peace and serenity, like love, compassion. These are all feelings that produce the healthy hormones. So positive thinking, just being joyful, being happy, and having that appropriate diet for your body is really, really important, because our body is unique. God, the creator, whatever you want to call this infinite wisdom and intelligence, created each of our bodies so unique. And of course, we should always be eating whole foods as opposed to processed foods. That's a given. Whole foods, not processed foods. But we have to eat a diet that is appropriate for our body. So these are the two of the most important factors: the mental and emotional well-being and the right appropriate diet for our body are two of the most important factors in giving the right environment for our body to thrive. And of course, there's a third factor of toxins in the environment. Let's say the polluted air, polluted water, that also affects. But I really believe that the top two factors in determining the destiny of our health is, one, our mental and emotional state of being, and 2, the diet we give to our bodies. So when I was on my healing path and journey, I recognized that while I had a physiological root cause of why I had all of those rash and arthritic symptoms throughout my body, and that was a physiological root cause, and I diagnosed that it was in my gut area, that my intestinal area was not working properly, and that's why I was in such bodily suffering and pain. And that was the physiological root cause that I discovered. I realized that while I had this physiological root cause, that I needed to heal the root cause of my pain and suffering, which was really in my energy consciousness level. We have a non-physical soul level, which is our higher consciousness level, which is really what creates our physiological body, matter, and form. So this higher consciousness level is the spiritual level that is non-physical. And in the shaman tradition, if let's say you have lung cancer, the shamans, they're not healing your lungs. What they're doing is they're healing your spiritual soul level. So when you see the shamans take their feathers and their snake rattles and they're doing this ritual, what they're doing is they're asking the divine to help them to release whatever trauma is in your energy consciousness, in your soul level, to release any kind of like emotional trauma that you're holding on to, childhood trauma, past life trauma. Basically, it's soul trauma. And this trauma could be, like I said, from different past lives. Maybe in your previous life, you had a murder. That's how you died. And so your consciousness, because it's eternal and your consciousness never dies, it holds on to that trauma. And so when that soul consciousness comes into this next life, you still have that trauma. So what that shaman is asking the divine its help for is to release that trauma that's creating the physiological disease, which may be lung cancer, or in my case, it's the gut. So during my own healing path journey, I knew that I had to release a lot of stuff from my traumatic childhood. You know, I had a very traumatic childhood where my father was abusive mentally, physically, emotionally to me and my siblings and my mother. And so the first thing that I knew I had to do was release the trauma from my childhood in order to have any chance of healing my gut. So I had to release that and release any trauma that is in my past life, which I'm not conscious of. I don't know consciously what that trauma is. So I was doing meditations to ask the divine to help me release this trauma that my deeper consciousness level is holding on to, so I could heal my gut and I could heal my symptoms, which were the rashes and the arthritic pains and suffering. And so really, the environment in which we give our body on the soul level is even more important than the environment that we give our body on the physical level. And so the key to our wellness is to give the right environment to our body, first on our soul level, and then second on our physiological level. So if you're in suffering and pain from a disease, please try to really give your body the right environment so that it can heal, because your body infinitely knows how to do it. The main thing is that we have to get out of our own way so that our body can do what it knows how to do, by first releasing all of that mental and emotional trauma that we're holding on to. And two, our diet is also very important. So just really, let's get out of our own way and allow our body to heal as it knows how to do. And if you have a story where you went on your own healing path and journey and healed yourself from a disease, please share it, because your comments, experiences, and feedback really help me and my community at large. And if you like this video, please make sure to share it and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to visit all of my spiritual and holistic living tips, just go to my website at yinandyangliving.com. Thank you. Namaste.